All right, let's talk about mastering the germ sander, both safely and effectively. Now, this is a powerful machine, and it can give you an absolutely perfect finish. But, and this is a big but, it demands your respect and a solid understanding of the rules. So, first things first, why even use a drum sander? Well, it's all about transformation. It takes wood that's rough and uneven and turns it into a perfectly smooth, professional grade surface. I mean, look at that. The difference is just, it's night and day, right? That's the level of quality we're talking about. So, let's get into how to achieve it the right way. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. We've got four simple sections. We're going to walk you through understanding the machine itself, all the way to operating it with the kind of confidence that only comes from knowing you're doing it right. So let's kick things off with section one. Before we do anything else, we have to get to know the machine we're working with. Understanding what it does, well, that's the first step to using it well. So what is this thing really? Well, at its core, it's a pretty simple idea. You've got a conveyor belt that feeds the wood through at a perfectly consistent speed, and then a super high-speed sanding drum does all the work. The real magic is in that combination. It guarantees you get a perfectly uniform thickness and an incredibly smooth finish, a level of precision that's just really tough to get by hand. And this is a really, really important point. This machine is a specialist. It is designed for one job and one job only, sanding the wide faces of your board, just like you see here. You never, ever try to sand an edge or an end. It's not just that it won't work well, it's downright dangerous. Okay, on to what might be the most crucial phase of all, preparation. I want you to think of yourself as a pilot here. You have to run through your pre-flight checklist. Seriously, what you do before you ever turn this machine on is every bit as important as what you do while it's running. Now, this isn't just some list you can glance at. This is a sequence, a process. You got to do it in order, every single time. Following these 5 steps builds the kind of muscle memory that prevents accidents before they even have a chance to happen. And let's really hammer this home, eye protection. It might seem obvious, but you have no idea how much fine dust and tiny wood chips can get thrown out of this machine, and at really high speeds. Your safety glasses are literally the only thing standing between that stuff and your eyes. This one is completely non-negotiable. Okay, so precision is everything, and it all starts right here. You don't guess the thickness of your board. You get an exact digital reading with a caliper. Why? Because that accuracy is absolutely critical. It prevents you from trying to take off way too much wood at once, which can seriously damage the machine, not to mention your project. So you take that exact number from the caliper, and you punch it right into the control panel. What you're doing is calibrating the machine. You're telling it the precise starting thickness of your board. This ensures that on your first pass, you're only removing a teeny tiny amount of material, which is exactly what you want. All right, our checklist is done. We're ready to power on and start operating like a pro. And a big part of that is understanding what the machine can do, and just as importantly, what it can't do. Look, these numbers aren't suggestions. They are hard limits for a reason. If a board is shorter than 9 inches, it might not feed through properly. It can get stuck or even kicked back at you. If it's thinner than 1/8 of an inch, it can get unstable and could even shatter inside the machine. So always, always check your material first. You gotta remember, this is a finishing tool, not a planer. It's not about removing a ton of wood really fast. Patience is your best friend here. Taking off more than 1/64 of an inch isn't gonna save you time. It's just gonna strain the motor, leave burn marks on your beautiful wood, and ruin the very finish you're trying to create. So how do you know if you're pushing it too hard? Well, that's what this is for. You need to keep an eye on the amperage meter. It's basically telling you how hard the motor is working. If that number ever goes past 20 amps, you are taking off too much material. Stop the machine immediately. It's that simple. Okay, let's talk about where you stand. And trust me, this is a big deal. You always, always stand to the side of the machine, never directly in front of where the wood goes in or comes out. This keeps you out of what we call the kickback zone. It's rare, but if the machine ever did eject a board, you want to be well out of the way. All right, this next one is one of the most important warnings we have. I know it can be really tempting to peek into the machine's opening, the throat, to see what's going on in there. You have to resist that urge. If a board were to kick back from that position, it could cause an incredibly serious facial injury. Just don't do it, ever. And here's another huge one, your hands. See this area between the wood and the conveyor table? That is a total no-go zone. Once the conveyor has grabbed the board, your job is done. Don't try to push it, pull it, or guide it. Let the machine do the work. And when you're all done, shutting down the machine correctly is just as important as starting it up. Your very first move is always to hit that emergency stop. It instantly cuts power to all the moving parts and brings the machine to a safe, immediate halt. Then you can turn off the other switches. Okay, we have covered a ton of info. So let's boil it all down to the absolute golden rules. These are the things you have to burn into your brain and remember every single time you even think about using the drum sander. So look, these aren't just a random list of don'ts. They're a system, a complete safety system that when you follow it, not only guarantees your safety, but also helps you get those incredible professional quality results. Internalize these rules, make them a habit, and you'll be set. At the end of the day, this machine can help you make some absolutely beautiful stuff. It can take your work to a whole new level. We've gone over all the rules and, more importantly, the reasons behind those rules. So now, the final question really is for you. If you internalize these steps, you can operate this tool not just with skill, but with total confidence. Are you ready to sand safely?